So welcome to the Candbox of this sort. I titled my can talk Destiny or Failure, and you'll kind of see why. There's not a lot of hope at this point. I read Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, and it is by far one of the most confusing and also rewarding books to read. I'm going to talk about the dynamics of the book first, because that's probably the most important part. So this is the cover of the book. This is the original cover. He sketched it out. If that's the first thing he did, he didn't even write the book before he had his title page, or his cover. So there are 6 stories in Cloud Atlas. The first one is Adam Ewing. He is a sailor, hence the storms, and he goes to a foreign colony in order to colonize as a British person. Then as he's coming back, he trusts someone, and this person gets him sick with a parasite. He says it's a parasite, but it's not. Spoiler, sorry. Then the next story is Robert Frobisher, and he is an amateur musician, and he has no money. He's been disenfranchised by his family. He's disowned. He goes to a very famous musician, piano player, and he seeks him out, and he writes this amazing piece called Cloud Atlas Sextet, therefore that's how you get your title. And then, next story is Louisa Ray. She's a mystery writer, newspaper woman. She uncovers this huge secret about a company who's trying to kill people. Not good, obviously she wants to stop it. Then, the reason why I'm going so rapidly in sequence of these stories is because each one is very detailed, and you'll see. Okay. And then the next story is Timothy Cavendish. He steals from people, and he gets put in a mental institution by his family. So 451 is placed in the future. It's a world where there's a hierarchy, and there's the lower slaves, and every single person of the slaves looks exactly the same. And you can never rise above. You only die if you're in the lower class. And the higher class lives forever with dominion over these people. And so 451 is one anomaly who rises up and learns and has an education, and it's never really discovered why, but she does, and she's pretty cool with it. Zachary is the world after so 451's world, and Zachary is in a forest, but there are people from the nether worlds who are really, 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 really intelligent, who can do all sorts of things like cure diseases, build houses with snap, which is very cool, but they don't do that. They come once a year, and one decides to stay, and she's all powerful. They come to her for everything, but she needs something from the people, which is kind of difficult because they're all slightly less intelligent. Okay, so the first 6 stories happen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then, bam, you are hit with that. You are told at the end of every single page, or at the end of every single story, the last page, that they all have a common birthmark. And thus, you're kind of like hit for a second, and you have to sit back. You can't read the book for a few days because you're still like comprehending that it's reincarnation and these people are the same people over time. But they're not, because they live different lives, they have different purposes, they don't do the same things. And that's my hand, by the way, so sorry. Okay, so you're hit with that, the common birthmark. Then 5 stories later, you go in bracket sequence back to these, and you go backwards, learning what happens. So Zachary and Menelaus, which is the intelligent person, they run away together to the nether worlds while their world burns. So 451 is the leader of a revolution for the underlings, and she is executed, but not before she lies about her life, which lies is also very complicated. She has no truth. She lies about everything, except that she has love, and that's very strange, but it's truth, and I'm very sorry that I can't explain that further, because I want you guys to read this book, because it's very good, and you'll learn a lot. Okay, Timothy Cavendish, he breaks out of a mental institution with his mentally insane friends. They get caught, and then he murders someone, and then he dies. Very sorry. Louisa Ray, she is on the run from people who are trying to kill her because she knows about the nuclear plans and all that such. And so she actually goes into this witness protection system in San Francisco. Robert Frobisher commits suicide because the Cloud Atlas Sextet was stolen from him. His story, his life, everything was stolen. And so he has no copyright to that, and he killed himself in a bathtub. It's not very important, but it's kind of weird. Adam Ewing gets home to his wife when he thinks that he's going to die, and he lives a long, happy life. They have 4 children or something. 5 children because, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, these are all very weird stories, I know. But the common birthmark is everything. As you go through the last 5 stories of the book, you look for it, and that's what the author draws you in with. He makes you keep reading with this common birthmark. Otherwise, I would have stopped reading at number 6, and I would not have read the rest of the stories. But reincarnation is very important, and the seeking truth in every single one, the revolutionaries, everyone. That's next slide. Sorry. Revolution. And they're all seeking truth, and when they don't find truth, they can either decide to live or die. Not every single person with a common birthmark chooses life. One guy killed himself. The other guy was executed. The other guy chose. So many 451 chose to lie, therefore she was executed. Not really death or suicide. Okay, friendship. Every single one of these people has a confidant, someone they go to, and they're like, hey, I think I'm going to kill myself after this afternoon. One person writes a letter and says, I'm going to kill myself in a bathtub. All he says. And it's really bad. The friendships are not ever good, which is weird. The friendships lead to death, or they lead to lies, and they lead to mystery. And one person told Louisa Ray that the nuclear war plans, they were coming directly for her. Like, it was a planned attack on her life. But it wasn't. It was about some people in some, I think honestly it's a Middle Eastern country. Sorry, but it's true. And she can't stop it. There's no way. And so she feels like she has no control over life. And that friendship led her to keep going, which not always the proper thing because she lost a leg and an arm, so it's not good. So friendship was not trustworthy, which normally we think of friendship as trustworthy, honestly. Add to the curriculum? I'm sorry, yes. I realize I couldn't have explained it better, honestly. I feel bad because that was not very good, but yes, because it's 6 stories and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you learn so much in the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that you can't not stop reading, so whatever. Sorry, it's just such a good book and I didn't explain it very well, but read it! Fly Atlas!